All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video. Make sure you check out Pig and a Pickle. They have 2 locations, phenomenal barbecue. They're open Wednesday through Sunday in Emeryville. They're open 7 days a week in Corte Madera from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Phenomenal barbecue. Get the brisket chili. The potato chips cooked in the beef fallow are amazing. Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. All right, we have a Niner video today. 49ers have signed Austin Bryant. Tom Pelissero of the NFL Network had the report first. Bryant's an interesting player, 6'4", 280-pound player. He gets a 1-year deal. He's from Pavo, Georgia. He's 26, 4th-round pick in 2019 by Clemson. He's had a 33-game NFL career thus far. And the problems are not talent or motor or effort. It's all about injuries. He's had a lot of injuries. He's had some foot problems. He had a pectoral problem. He had a shoulder issue. Last year, he played in 9 games. He had no sacks. In 2021, he played in 14 games and had 4.5 sacks. Detroit just had better guys last year at a couple different spots. Houston outplayed him late in the year, and that took some time away from him, James Houston. But the Niners need, they lost Charles Omenihu, they lost Samson Ebukam, and they've lost Jordan Willis. And those 3 guys last year combined to play over 700 snaps from scrimmage. And the trio accounted for 11.5 sacks. So they're leaning on, the 49ers are leaning on, obviously, Javon Hargrave to give them a big pass rush in the middle, and he should help. But they're going to need more help on the defensive end spot outside of Nick Bosa. Now, Drake Jackson, the rookie last year from USC, I thought kind of got tired as the year went on, but 3 sacks for Drake in 15 games in 2022. So they're going to need him to double that number this upcoming year. If you go back and study Bryant, he was on some terrific Clemson teams. In fact, he was a teammate of Clelin Ferrell with the Clemson Tigers. And, Bryant had an outstanding junior year there in Death Valley. This was 2017. He had 8.5 sacks. He had a phenomenal year the next year as well. He's not great at anchoring against the run. What he is, though, is a twitchy athlete with a tremendous motor. He played at Clemson at about 270. I think with Detroit, he's gotten up to as high as 280 pounds. But, he's a little bit high cut. He's got long legs, and so he doesn't have the greatest balance or play strength. But really, he's a twitchy athlete who can get to the corner. Last year, he had 11 pressures in 125 pass rush snaps. 207 total snaps he played in 9 games overall. And as I said, Detroit just had some better guys. They had some guys that they used early in the year. They had guys, Pascal, the rookie from Kentucky, outplayed him early in the year. And then, late in the year, he was outplayed by James Houston. So his playing time was cut both early in the year and late in the year. But on this 49er defensive front, I mean, if you look at the Niners right now, they're in a good spot as far as tackles concerned. They have Javon Hargrave. They have Eric Armstead. They still have Javon Kinlaw. You have Kevin Givens. You have Kalia Davis. And you still have T.Y. McGill, who they re-signed. So they go about 6 deep in the interior. But on the edge, now that Ebukam and Willis and Omenihu have moved on, it's Nick Bosa. And then there's Clelin Ferrell, who's got another great motor, but not a ton of talent to rush the passer. Then there's Austin Bryant, who's a little bit twitchier and has a little bit more talent to rush the passer, a little bit more speed. But what he also has is great length and a great motor. So I love the fact that Farrell's got a motor, Austin Bryant's got a motor, Drake Jackson's got a tremendous motor. That seems like a consistent theme for 49er defensive linemen under Chris Kocherik, is that he likes guys who bring it and who, bring it all day. And have that high revving motor and are just playing every down like it's their last down in the NFL. So overall, I like this move. Now, is this the solution? They're not done. They have Bosa, they have Cleveland Farrell, they have Drake Jackson, they have Austin Bryant, and they have Alex Barrett, who was a practice squad player last year. That's it. So I would say they're still going to wind up needing two more rushers from the draft and maybe even one more rusher in free agency. Um, I don't know that the Niners want to spend the kind of money that it's going to take to get Frank Clark or to get Leonard Floyd or to sign Yannick Ngakoue. It seems like they're trying to look for players that are a little bit lower rated, guys that they feel like are good value, guys that they can try to coach up. The one thing about Bryant and Farrell that I like is they're long-bodied guys with good height, good arm length, and they play very, very hard. And I could see Bryant and Farrell playing inside in their 4D end alignment. I think that's very possible. I also think that Bryant, if you could play him in a rotation, he could still give you some of that edge, twitchiness and speed that you're going to miss without a Menahue, without Ebukam, and without Jordan Willis. The other thing that I think is pretty clear watching this is that the Niners have a real type when it comes to defensive end. They're not looking for the 245-pound guy. They're looking for defensive ends who are more like 270. The one thing I really like about Bryant is that he plays very naturally in a system that uses lots of stunting. So you can line him up inside and stun him outside. You can line him up outside, stun him inside. You can play games up front. You can play Farrell and Bryant in the 4D end alignment. You can line them up at tackle. And, neither is going to anchor against the run, but both are going to give you, a 275-pound, 280-pound defensive end who will stick their nose in there against the run. And that's really important. So overall, you got to love it. You can never have enough defensive line depth. Right now, if you look at the 49ers depth chart, if you just count it down, Farrell, Hargrave, Armstead, Bosa, those are your front four. Drake Jackson, Kinlaw, Givens, Austin Bryant. So now you got 8. Kalia Davis is 9. T.Y. McGill's 10. Alex Barrett's 11. I would say they're probably going to show up in camp with 15 quality defensive linemen. So maybe they get one more defensive lineman in free agency and maybe 2 or 3 rushers of different sizes and strengths in the draft. But overall, I like the fact that they gave Hargrave the big money. They chose the interior player over the edge players, and now they're staring at a very deep edge rusher draft class, and there'll be many opportunities for them to add to their depth on the defensive line between now and week 1. So overall, Austin Bryant to the Niners on what is a very favorable cap-friendly deal. I say it's a great move for the 49ers without a doubt. Hope you enjoyed our Niner video. Make sure you keep it locked on the Krug Show for Niner content throughout the year. And of course, thanks to Pig and a Pickle, our title sponsor. Check them out in Emeryville, open 5 days a week. Check them out in Marin County, open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. And thanks for watching the Krug Show on YouTube.